Okay, I think we're finally rocking and rolling over here. Okay, this is where I wanted to start. My name is Valerie Lamp. I am a proud co-founder of Voters for Voiceless. This should be where you're watching the video either on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Twitter, or Instagram. But if you're not part of one of our groups, please join. Please spread the word. Tonight's topic is something that just occurred at this past Tuesday's Town of Hempstead board meeting. The entire purpose for this group is to empower animal advocates and people who are compassionate to fight for better legislation and improvements at things like local municipal shelters, as well as addressing, some other problems for the animals. I will tell you that tonight's video is not directly about animals. It is, however, important to discuss what just transpired because there was, in my opinion, an unnecessary and really disrespectful, somewhat of an assault on a fellow animal advocate. And I want to tell you right now, I'm talking about Felix Procacci, who lives in Franklin Square, New York. And I need to just give you a little bit of the backstory because it's important, and then you'll understand why. Felix is an animal lover. He is an animal advocate. He has been fighting also with a lot of us to try to get the town of Hempstead to reopen the shelter, as well as reopen their TNR program. But in addition to that, this is his website, Just the Facts Media, okay? He has for years, I don't even know how many years, at least 8 years, he has been providing a very valuable, invaluable service to the local residents, as well as press, journalists, and even students refer to this website right here, justthefactsmedia.com, for research purposes. And I mean, I'll give you an example. I wanted to open up with this screen for a reason. He is truly providing something that, in my opinion, the amount of time that he spends on this, he should be getting paid by somebody. But anyway, he does this in an effort to improve transparency, government transparency, and also to get more people involved and to pay attention. And that's something I can genuinely relate to right now. Here's an example, meeting videos. Look at all of this. He covers Floral Park, Franklin Square, Garden City Village, St. Paul's renovation concepts, I don't even know what that is, and Hempstead. And let me just give you an example. The town of Hempstead has its own section over here. I guess that's where he started. I'm not sure. Look at this. Look at all of these archived videos. Right here at the top, it says you can click for archived meetings information from 2012 to present. That is an incredible commitment and effort on the part of one individual constituent who never misses a meeting, never goes away on vacation, doesn't have any replacements. And I'll tell you right now, I've used this website when I'm trying to, find information. I've used it for financials. Here's the audits that are available. Where'd it go? Budgets, audits. Okay, right in front of me. Here is 2014 audit. Here's the New York State audit. Here's another audit from Jack Schneerman's office. I'm just pointing this out because this is an incredible research tool, and it is mind-blowing to me how Mr. Procacci was just treated. And I'm being fair, okay? Felix and I have had our differences in the past. He'll be the first one to tell you that. There was a point in time where I think we didn't speak for several months, and maybe another time we didn't speak for a couple of weeks, but I'm just saying, this is not a biased opinion. But I really believe, and I'm going to leave it to you guys to be the jury on this, but I really believe that what just happened was really quite shameful. I don't think people should be treated this way. So let's get to it. Okay. The most recent, I encourage everyone, by the way, to go to justthefactsmedia.com. Oh, actually, let me switch gears. Sorry. Felix also was the only press or media person and his company, Just the Facts Media, that was allowed in to record the League of Women Voters debate at Molloy College just last year, when you'll see Donald Clavin, the current supervisor of the Town of Hempstead, was running against incumbent Laura Gillen. We're happy she's gone. And also Libertarian candidate Diane Madden, who's also a huge animal advocate. The reason I'm telling you this, and this is where it really ties in, is that this sole practitioner person behind Just the Facts Media was able to have an exclusive opportunity to be the only media person allowed to record this meeting. And the other thing I should mention is that the town of Hempstead has about a $5 million IT department. And I'm not putting anyone down in that department. I don't know who does what, but I will tell you that quite a few times their meeting recordings are interrupted. Their video doesn't work, their audio doesn't work. And sometimes you lose and you don't see 20 or 30 minutes. And in another video, there's one, I'll have to find it, but it lasts about 3 minutes of recording, and the actual meeting was about 3 hours. So people refer to this website because, you know, Phyllis Procacci with his, you know, I don't know what type of a system that he has and transports to every single meeting and sets it up, you know, knock on wood, his recordings are intact, complete, and pretty flawless. So I really think the town of Hempstead owes Mr. Procacci at the minimum a thank you, but really you owe him an apology. Anyway, let's get to it. At the last Town of Hempstead board meeting, right here, they decided to make a big example out of Mr. Procacci. So let me just show you what's going on here. Let me explain. Because of COVID, the ability to go up to this desk where there was microphones allocated for constituents to speak at public comment and, you know, whatever, obviously the protocols have changed. Okay, fine, everyone understands that. So when a taxpayer is called to speak into a microphone, the designated mic is all the way over to the back and left-hand part of the auditorium. So they're not going to show up on the video. That's fine. This microphone where you'll see, this is Mr. Rockcamp, Commissioner Rockcamp. And by the way, nothing against Commissioner Rockcamp. Hold on. Here's the microphone. See it right here with this little, it looks like a music stand. But anyway, it's a podium of some sort right here. This is where the commissioners and other staff members of the town of Hempstead will go so that they can answer questions or provide some insight when their department is being discussed or questioned. So let's fast forward. Here comes Mr. Rockcamp. Now, because of COVID, whenever a constituent gets up, goes over to the microphone all the way in the back, they say their 3 minutes of comments or whatever, and then that microphone and stand is wiped down by a town employee. It's sanitized. So here we have, this is going to be interesting, guys. Here we have Commissioner Rockcamp. Here he is, standing very respectfully. What's up, Commissioner Rockcamp? Again, I like him. Nice guy. He was there for, I don't know, a minute or so. Now, just bear with me. I'm going to scroll because he does turn around, and when he goes back to his seat, you will see, if you can see, no one comes to clean this microphone. Now, he's wearing a mask. Okay, great. Appreciate it, Commish. You know, no one comes over to clean this particular microphone and music stand, whatever it is. Now, fast forward, and by the way, guys, you can play along with this too. Go to justthefactsmedia.com. That was at approximately 6 minutes and 13 seconds. You want to scroll to. My next example is at the 1 hour and 2 minute mark. So let's scroll, scroll, scroll. Keep an eye on this area right over here. You will see no one comes over to this area at all whatsoever. Okay. 1 hour and 2 minutes. Scroll, 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 scroll. Here we go, 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 go. 1 hour. And by the way, I've done this about 10 times already, so I'm pretty sure my research is very accurate here. Oh, here we go. There's Marino. Hold on, please. So in another couple of seconds, here he is. Here comes Commissioner Marino. Here he is. Looks like he's wearing a mask, but actually when he turns around, you'll see that it's under his chin. So here comes Commissioner Marino to this very same microphone that Commissioner Rockcamp had already spoken at. Scroll, scroll, scroll. He's there for about, not long, he's there for about a minute, roughly. And then he turns around and leaves. Where's him leaving? All right, I'm not that great at this, but trust me when I tell you, if you actually hit play, oh, you know what? Let's do it. Let's hit play. We'll just see him turn around so that you can see I'm telling the truth. Oh, there he is. The mask is under his chin. Okay. Sunglasses on the head, mask under the chin. All right, that's somewhat balanced, right? But the point is this. Oh, wait, hold on. He goes back to the microphone again. He must have had another question or something, but he goes back for like a moment. There he is. Did you see it? There he is at 1:03. And then he goes back and sits down again. Okay, fine. Now, please notice, no one is going over to this microphone to clean it. And that was Commissioner Marino, who did not wear a mask when he spoke into it. He's also, it looks like he's pretty close in proximity wise to Mr. Colbert over here, who's working in the town attorney's department, somewhat, elderly gentleman. Anyway, here's your stand, also not being wiped down. Okay. Hang in there, guys. I'm going to make my point. So now let's fast forward again. About 5 minutes later, Felix Procacci was at the microphone for constituents off screen. This is important. He went, he said his piece. His statement was very well researched. I encourage you guys to watch it because what he actually did was showed an inconsistency of Don Clavin, Supervisor of Town of Hempstead. I should say another inconsistency, to be fair. But his research is very well documented. So Mr. Clavin over here seems to have a habit of waiting until the individual's time is up. Here's your time clock. You get 3 minutes. And when that time is up, you have to stop talking or they'll cut your mic and you have to return to your seat or leave the building, whatever. The reason I'm telling you this is because he has also, Mr. Clavin, the ability to interact with you, with me, with his constituents, with people who go there with concerns, but he doesn't. What he does is he shuffles papers. You can see him doing it right now. I've watched this very closely because I love body language. He shuffles papers, he flips through papers. He does not make eye contact with his constituents. He does not give you the time of day. And then if he does decide that he wants to rebut something that you're saying or make kind of like a passive aggressive comment as you're walking away, he waits until the clock is up so that you have no chance to respond. It's very passive aggressive. It's ridiculous, honestly. So here's Mr. Procacci, who's now at the mic. I'm going to fast forward because here comes the most important part. Now, again, no one cleaned this microphone after Commissioner Rockcamp spoke with a mask. no one cleaned it. After Commissioner Marino spoke without a mask, no one cleaned it. Commissioner Marino spoke again over here and no one cleaned it. And then, let's get over to it. Hold on one second. Here comes possibly my favorite part right here. This guy, from what I'm told, this is Mr. Clavin's chief of staff, okay? He went to the microphone, he spoke, he's speaking to the board, and he was there. He was sitting right over here to the left. He was there the entire time that Commissioner Rockcamp went, microphone was not cleaned. Commissioner Marino went and spoke, no mask, microphone not cleaned twice. He's sitting right here watching the whole thing. And then he gets up and he's speaking into this microphone without it ever being cleaned. Okay. And then towards the very end, now this is after this guy sits down, again, no one's cleaning the microphone. You guys can watch this if you want to spend an hour and a half or whatever, however long this meeting was, but you'll see the same thing. Nobody cleaned off that microphone, okay? So now fast forward to when, oh, and by the way, this is another good part. This young lady crosses over here past the microphone and goes and sits down over there. She's not wearing a mask. And the reason I'm saying this is because of the protocol that they're saying that they have in place. But of course, it's do as I say, not as I do, okay? So now we get to the very end. This is public comment. And Mr. Procacci was completely and utterly chastised and reprimanded. He went up for public comment. He said his piece. And then after he said his piece and his time was up, okay, look at this. There's 8 seconds left on the clock. He had already started walking away, I believe. His public comment was over. And give me 1 second to find it. So Mr. Clavin decides to address his or rebut something that he had said after Felix had already left, you know, the microphone and was unable to respond back. So here it is. Mr. Procacci got angry. I spoke to Felix about this, and it's unfortunate because, you know, look, he is a sensitive guy. He obviously puts a lot of time and energy into this. That said, he recognizes that he was heated. And in that moment, he went back to the microphone because Mr. Clavin here was trying to dispute, I guess, his research and kind of imply that he was wrong. So Mr. Procacci came back to this microphone and he started refuting what Clavin was saying. And he was saying, you know, you're trying to deceive the public. So here it is. Hold on 1 second. Not his proudest moment, but I'm going to show it. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Right, see now that, see now that, oh, we appreciate you coming thing, that's another passive aggressive little dig. You know, it's really just so distasteful. I mean, the truth of the matter is that these passive aggressive little swats when he's, you know, sitting safely up atop over here on his dais and he's got public safety coming over to the right as if Felix is any kind of a threat. You know, I just find it to be incredibly ridiculous. But now let's just pay attention to this. Now they make it a point to request an employee to come over and clean the microphone. And, you know, they're really making an example out of Felix. They're trying to like embarrass him. And then this guy, this is Joseph Nocella, the chief of staff for this guy, Don Clavin. He decides to stand over here and, you know, create this whole big political theater wrapped around the concept that Felix broke protocol and jumped over to a microphone, and that's just completely wrong. Okay. What gets me, well, we'll watch this. Hold on. Okay, so let's wait for this guy to jump up and refuse to take the microphone because now Felix, who's a constituent, used the microphone, and so now it's not clean. Hold on. And even after they cleaned it, this guy said he'd rather not use that microphone. I mean, what's next? Segregated bathrooms? Hold on. Let's clean up the microphone, make a big deal, even though they never did it before when it was Commissioner Rockcamp Marino or this guy, Mr. Nocella. But let's stop everything and make a big example off of Felix Procacci's one mistake. Here he comes. Here we go, this guy. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I don't know if you guys caught that. See how everyone's laughing? He's asking him to speak into the microphone so everyone can hear him. And he turns around and says, oh, I'd rather not. Okay. Sickening. I've seen enough. I don't know about you guys, but this boils my blood. Okay. And the reason is, let me tell you what happened after all of this. So again, Felix Procacci, Just the Facts Media, he sits in the press section of the Town of Hempstead Pavilion, and he records, these meetings. So this guy, Mr. Joseph Nocella, who's another attorney, decides to make an example out of Felix by calling him out for jumping over to this microphone, which is dedicated to staff, which has not been cleaned the entire meeting. And he says something like, if the public is going to break protocol, blah, 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 they're going to be ejected from the meeting. Well, thankfully, the meeting was almost over, and they didn't take it to that degree of humiliation. But what they did do was, afterwards, they went up to Felix and told him that he's basically been debadged and is no longer allowed to sit with the press section, which is just, I mean, it's ludicrous, okay? These people, I cannot even stomach it. It is so hypocritical. I don't even understand what they're thinking. Does this guy, Mr. Nocella, think that germs and COVID-19 cannot spread amongst the Town of Hempstead employees? I mean, seriously, Commissioner Marino was at this microphone without a mask on twice, and they didn't sanitize it. So do the laws of physics cease to exist within Commissioner Marino's bloodstream? I mean, it's like my cousin Vinny all over again. It is so ludicrous. Are these magic microphones over here and over here that these don't need to be sanitized after these people speak into it? Because what, are they better than everybody else? Are they immune, unlike the general public? I mean, I'm sorry. I really think that this is just one example, and there's many, of the disdain and of the bullying mentality that is held within this township. They have a good laugh at Felix's expense, who has dedicated the past decade or more of his life to helping people learn about their governments and get the governments to become more transparent. Reporters from Channel 7 and other major news channels rely on this very website that I showed you before to access information, because the Town of Hempstead only goes back 2 years. And so instead of just saying, this is what happens, people boil over like Felix did, because this guy, Don Clavin, does nothing but ignore his well-researched and well-presented comments. And if you're an animal advocate on this page, you know what that feels like, because we've been ignored too. And you know what? That's fine. They can continue to ignore us. We will speak out at the next election. So, I wanted to, hold on one second. I got to exit this full screen before I vomit. I wanted to also just make this presentation, so to speak, whereas we decided to start issuing certificates of hypocrisy. And guess what? This week's big winner, congratulations, Don, it's you. It is you because number one, you hold a double standard for this employee dedicated microphone versus the other microphone. And you also, in your campaign promises, said things like, oh, it's easy to fight with people and it's harder to work with them. Well, you're not working with us, you're fighting with us, and you're punishing people who are, in my opinion, somewhat easy targets, like Felix Procacci, because you know how much he cares about these local government meetings. So you heard him. Congratulations, Don. You took a swing at someone who's vulnerable because they care. By the way, definition of a bully: a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. Yep, that would be you. This guy, all smiles. Isn't life so grand? Good for you, Don. You just really sunk to a new low. I can't even look at it. Anyway, please join our page, Voters for Voiceless, as we empower other people, such as yourself, who are looking to make a difference in this world. We ask you to get involved. We ask your children to get involved. It's never too young to start paying attention to local government and what they do. All right. I will post these links below, and this way you guys can, if you want to, you know, see for yourself exactly what I'm saying, or you can bounce around to other meetings and see how the public is treated. By the way, this is just one thing that took place at last week's meeting. I have another Zoom video that I'm lining up because there was another outrage, but it's too much to cover in one Zoom call. So, all right, everyone have a good night. Certificate of Hypocrisy will also be posted. Congratulations, Don Clavin. You're the big winner. And on that note, I guess we'll end this meeting. How do we do that? I'm so bad at this. End meeting. Pause recording. Stop recording. There it is. See you guys soon.